Hi, the topic that I've chosen for my assignment is art and artist of the Renaissance. Uh, Starting off with the instructor-centered method, I chose the teaching strategy of lecture. I like the idea of lecture because it allows me to provide the students a whole lot of information. It's a lower level of learning, so they're probably not familiar with it yet. And it just serves as a, an introduction. So for the art and the artists of the Renaissance, what I've done is I've correlated the artist of the Renaissance with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's a pretty easy correlation because they're all named after one of the artists of the Renaissance, and a lot of the students don't know this. So I use the four artists and we talk about them, and I go through and it provides me sort of a reference point. I can talk about specific things about each artist and move on from there. So the next strategy that I'm going to do is under interactive, the group project. So the information that they've already learned during the lecture section, the students will actually take this and play an activity. So the group project is in the form of an activity, but what they have to do is they have to discover 4 facts and a false. And these are all information that they were provided during the lecture section, and they can refer to the bulletin board to kind of see what was there, but they have to recall facts that I actually gave them. And so then they're going to present that in front of the other students, and then they have to say, oh, this is the artist that you are, and they have to say what were the facts and what was false. So it's a fun way for everybody to recall the information. The next strategy under the individualized method is independent project. So the students are actually going to start digging in a little bit deeper into the Renaissance time period by doing a project of their own. So they're going to be assigned an artist that we haven't previously talked about, and they're going to need to come up with similar information that I had provided about the Renaissance artists that we did talk about. So this will be done out of class. It is a bit of a research paper, but it's pretty basic. And then they need to choose one piece of art from that artist. So I like this because it gives them a basis of the information that we've already kind of been talking about, but it builds upon their knowledge because they're investigating on their own, and they're finding that data that is similar to the information that we've already talked about. Lastly, we're talking about experimental. So this is fun. And the artists of the Renaissance worked in different methods, but they're going to experience what it's like to create a fresco painting. So they play with the plaster of Paris. I put it on just a thin layer on top of fabric. And through this, they're going to learn more about the process of the fresco painting. And I like this strategy because it provides them the opportunity to really, I've explained to them what a fresco painting is, but because they're younger, they don't necessarily understand building materials. So they don't get to know what a fresco painting really is. So this is, just a fun way for them to experiment with that. And it's a simulation. I'm sorry, I didn't say that. The strategy is a simulation. So they're simulating what it's like to create a painting into wet plaster, which is what the artist did in frescoes. I have, there's a picture of my bulletin board. Here's actually a picture of my daughter with her fresco of a hippo, pretty standard procedure for her to create a hippo. So the reason that I liked this assignment was because it allowed me to dig deeper into some of the methods and really analyze why I'm doing what I'm doing and seeing, what can be done. I think the most difficult part was finding something for the individualized project, because for me in the art room, naturally that would kind of be like their project that they're doing. But it's really good for them to do the individualized investigations on their own. So I really liked this assignment, and I really liked the way that it was formatted, and I totally intend to use this format in the future because it helps me provide a little bit more well-rounded to make sure I'm getting them with the individualized knowledge with the lecture and, really kind of diving deeper into the content.